Alright, it is Saturday night, and I am going to use this video to go over one by one all the videos that are currently on my list. So, at the very top I have Diablo 3, pretty much because Diablo 2 is probably the only game that I have likely spent more time on it than World of Warcraft. Diablo 3, if it's as good as Diablo 2, it is going to be basically the best game in the world. StarCraft 2 is the second game on the list. I'm not very good at RTSs, but they are really talking quite a lot about, well, they aren't really talking a lot about it, but they have made the map editor sound really, really powerful. And if you've ever really gotten into Warcraft 3 custom games, it's basically going to be more super awesome stuff like that. I've made a couple of my own maps. They never really got to the level of completion that I would release them like out to the world or anything like that. But I like making stuff, and so yeah, StarCraft 2 is behind Diablo 3 on that. Third on my list is Zelda Wii, the next Zelda game. I really like the Zelda games. I never really could get into Wind Waker though because of its graphics. That was very disappointing. But I never had a GameCube, so I didn't really have a whole lot of chance to get into it either. It was just a little bit in college. My roommate had me play some of it, and he had never played Ocarina of Time, which was like, oh my god, you haven't played that? That's like the best Zelda ever, and blah blah blah. And then he was telling me that the Super NES one, I never had a Super NES either. He was telling me that one was like the best. Yeah. Anyways, so Zelda Wii third on the list. Next, Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy. The Final Fantasy games are great as far as game length. They aren't really my favorite in terms of in terms of gameplay, particularly the combat is generally kind of not too exciting, but they're always high quality, and they've got the length there that games like Fable 1 and 2, they're like, RPGs are like the best genre to me, but they don't always have the length. That's so it's just like, yeah, more time I spend on it is good, generally, if it's a good game. I don't want to beat a game and then be like done with it. Anyways, next on my list, maybe a surprise, because I haven't really said much about it yet, is Darksiders. That game is coming out on Tuesday, and what I heard at first was it's an action game like God of War. So it's like, okay, it could be pretty good, or it could be another God of War fail clone kind of thing. I never had a PS2, so I haven't played any of the God of War games. They are lower on my list right now. But anyways, I was reading a review for Darksiders, and they said it's not actually so much like God of War in that it's actually closer to a Zelda game. And at first I was like, what the fuck are they talking about? It's like an apocalyptic game is not like a Zelda game. But when they describe like the flow of the game, it's like you actually go around to dungeons and get different special a different special like gadget slash weapon thing in each dungeon and fight a boss, and it's like got a open world sort of thing, and it's actually quite a bit like Zelda as far as all that stuff goes. There's even like some puzzle stuff in there, and it's like, wow, that sounds like a really cool version of Zelda. I'm not saying that Zelda isn't cool, but it's like more of a, a darker, more serious kind of version of Zelda. I still love the Zelda games. The Zelda games are awesome, but that sounds like that just sounds awesome. So that is probably what I'll be spending my Christmas $50 gift certificate on. Next on my list is Demon's Souls, which is kind of weird because, well, maybe it's a translation error or something, but it's apostrophe S. Demon's Souls, as if one demon could have multiple souls. But anyways, let's not really worry about grammar. The reason this one is now so high on my list is because well, I've just heard lots of good stuff about it. The only bad thing I've ever heard about it is that it is retardedly hard. Like, as in, you're dead in a couple of seconds if you screw up. And since you have to, like, figure out how to beat guys, you basically have to die a lot. Which sounds kind of weird, but their deaths, they have like a death system. Instead of you die and load the game, it's like you die and you're running around as a ghost or something like that. So you're supposed to die a lot. So I might not enjoy dying so much, but it doesn't sound as annoying as like dying over and over and reloading the game like you would in some other games. So that's gonna be interesting. And also the there's been like trailers and stuff, and the bosses in that game look really cool. Great graphics.